morning, I was asked to speak in English, so that's why I can easily switch to my native tongue, but I'm comfortable with English, if everybody's comfortable. Okay, perfect. Actually, first time in my life, I was introduced in a language I don't understand. Yeah. Sometimes, I'm even confused when I'm introduced in English because people these days, they want to look at Wikipedia, and I'm always scared to hear something about myself I never heard of before. But anyway, so it's a great pleasure to be here in Vilnius again. These days I visit your beautiful country very often, but for a different reason. So Vilnius, as probably some of you know, is the place for Free Russia Forum, where people like myself who had to leave Russia and send letters to tyrant in Kremlin picked up Lithuania following our historical tradition. But I'm really glad that today I could speak about something else, that's another threat, which is quite a paradox. Because for many years, I've been trying to warn free world, Americans, Europeans, about threat coming from Moscow, from Putin. They didn't want to hear. But contrary to this lack of vigilance, they all are concerned about an imaginary threat coming from machines. So here I'm, not to refute it, but basically give you a story for you to treat this issue as it deserves. It's not a magic wand, but it's not a Terminator. It's not a harbinger of utopia or dystopia. I want you to think about intelligent machines as a tool, something that has been created by us, by humans, and we should understand how to deal with that. So to make you feel more comfortable, I'm here to tell you a story about my own relations with computers and also to give you some forecast about the future, based on the facts. We're not here just here to panic, because these days, this debate about humans and machines is dominated by doomsayers. They are talking about the end of humanity, about the Terminator, about the Matrix, and I have to say that public buys it because probably we all watch too many Hollywood movies. Again, even Hollywood movies could give you a different view as you find out later. But let's start from the very beginning, about chess and computers. Why chess players had a special relations with the machines. It all starts with founding fathers. Alfred Binet is the founding father of IQ test. And at the end of the 19th century, when he did his research, he was absolutely fascinated by the chess players. He believed that if he could study the brains of the chess players, especially those who could play blind, playing chess, not looking at the chessboard, he could actually unlock the secrets of human intelligence. It's very flattering, but as a former professional chess player, I can assure you that the aptitude for playing chess is nothing else than aptitude for playing chess. But this idea about chess being a sort of ultimate test for machine intelligence moved, for human intelligence as well, moved to the next generation of scientists. And you could see the founding fathers of computer science, Alan Turing, Claude Shannon, Norbert Wiener, and many others of them. They all believe that when, let me emphasize, when, not if, machines prevail in the game of chess, that will be the moment, that will be the dawn of what we call now artificial intelligence, but for them it was the dawn of the era of intelligent machines. As a matter of fact, they were also wrong, and we'll find out why. The reason they thought that the only way for machines to prevail in the game of chess or in any other intelligent game was a simple fact that they knew that, for instance, game of chess was mathematically infinite. The number of legal moves in the game of chess, according to Claude Shannon himself, is 10 to the 46th power, 10 and 46 zeros. It's probably compatible with the number of atoms in the solar system. Okay, technically it's not infinite, because nothing is infinite in mathematics, but it's good enough for machines to keep working on all the moves till the end of the universe. And also, let's remember that they had no access to any computing power. They couldn't imagine, the power of machine power that we have in our pockets or purses today. So by having this access to meager computer power, so they thought that machine had to think like humans. And that was the whole concept, what Claude Shannon called type A machines and type B machines. Type A machines being brute force, using algorithms. Type B being more like humans, emulating human thoughts. So now, why they were wrong is because even these geniuses couldn't anticipate the Moore's law, the amount of computing power that could be doubling, tripling, quadrupling, tenfold from generation to generation. But still, the idea that the chess could be sort of holy grail for computer science went from generation to generation. And of course, there were chess-playing computers. Looking at the age of the audience, I believe some of you probably have owned one of these computers that were popular in the 80s. They could only play chess. So, and what you see on the picture is I'm playing a simultaneous exhibition against 32 of these chess-playing machines. 4 leading manufacturers presented 8 of their best models, and that's June 1985 in the German city of Hamburg, just a few months before I became the world champion in November that year. So, of course, moves have been executed by humans, but all the moves have been ideas generated by the machines. So I won all the games, which, by the way, was not a surprise. I have to say that in 1985, the surprise would be the opposite, if I could have lost or even drew one game. And when I look at this picture, I nearly cry because it reminds me of the great moment in human-machine relations when machines were weak, but my hair was strong. So that was 1985. Just 12 years later, I faced only one machine, this IBM Deep Blue, 1997, New York. That's the match that many today present as the moment of the triumph of AI. I have to say that again, contrary to the expectations of founding fathers, Deep Blue was not intelligent at all. It was as intelligent as your alarm clock. No, very expensive one, $10 million plus, but still intelligent as an alarm clock. It didn't have to be intelligent. This is a big mistake we always make. We think that if for machine to be good, it must be perfect. All we should expect from the machine is to be better, just to make fewer mistakes. And all humans, even the best of us, were poised to make mistakes. And all Deep Blue did is just played better than Garry Kasparov in this specific match. It actually was not even stronger than me. When you look at the games and analyze them with today's programs, you understand how many mistakes were made on both sides. By the way, to understand the progresses, I can tell you, if you have a free chess app in your mobile device today, it's stronger than Deep Blue. Moore's law. Again, it's all about numbers. It's not that machine, could see everything. Deep Blue made mistakes, but Garry Kasparov at that time couldn't actually bear the pressure. By the way, if we are looking for a watershed moment in the history of human-machine relations, I would argue it was not 1997 match, but 1996 match. By the way, that was a rematch because I won the first one in 96 in Philadelphia. But still, though I won the first match, I lost game 1 in that match. Then I fought back, I won 3 more games, and was a triumphant. But the fact is that machine could beat a sitting world champion in one game under normal tournament rules, 6 hours or 7 hours time control. That was already like a sign on a wall about the future. We had to understand that the rest would be like a matter of time. I thought it could take longer. But I realized that we are racing against the clock because machines could get stronger and stronger, and they will be making fewer and fewer mistakes. Again, it's not about being perfect. It's simply about making fewer mistakes and not collapsing under pressure. Because unlike humans, machine doesn't care about weather, family affairs, stock market crash, and many other things that could easily bother ourselves. Now, in my book, Deep Thinking, I spent time talking about the match and the rules, and it was not so fair. Yeah, I mean, people say that I was not well prepared. Some say that my worst mistake was not to ask for IBM stock options because it jumped, 22% in 2 weeks. $11.5 billion in 1997. That was, yeah. Anyway, it's a water under the bridge. Of course, after losing the second match, which was the probably most publicized event at that time in the world, and saying I won the first match, I asked IBM for the rematch, rematch. Of course, they said no. Did I say Deep Blue was not intelligent? Yeah. Actually, it was intelligent enough to find a new job because I've been looking for Deep Blue trying to actually play, but it disappeared. I found it recently. Actually, it's making sushi in JFK Airport. It's Terminal 5, I live in New York these days, fly regularly, so it's very painful. I love sushi, never ate there. So now, 1997, I lost the match. By the way, people say, Gary, it was an outburst. He couldn't bear it. He lost the machine. I always reminded people it was not the first match I lost to the machine. It was the first match I lost, period. I was a world champion for 12 years. I lost a few tournament games, but I was unbeatable. So it was a big blow. But then, okay, we'll all learn from our mistakes. So what's next? The game of chess is over, so what's going to happen next to me, to my game? I've been licking my wounds, ruminating about the future. I thought, wait a second. Fighting machines, it's a dead end. We understand that. It will take a few more years. By the way, we still play matches. For about 6 or 7 years, there were interesting matches. I played 2 other programs, one German, one Israeli, not as publicized as IBM match, though they were probably stronger than Deep Blue. I drew both matches, but I knew it would be over in a certain period of time. What about actually bringing together humans and computers? So how about combining the human intuition and human creativity and machines' brute force, machines' memory? And I came up with a concept which I called advanced chess. Human plus machine. Human intuition and expertise and machine speed and analysis. Now, what you see at the picture is I'm playing in 1998 the opening match of advanced chess against one of the top players, Bulgarian Veselin Topalov. Actually, when I show this picture to my 12-year-old daughter, she doesn't recognize it's being a computer. Computer? What is this piece next to you? Called monitor? But to my surprise, and to surprise of many, the quality of the games were not perfect. We had best players in the world. Topalov was number 5 at that time. And I was still world champion. We had best computers next to us available at the time. But somehow the synergy was not what we expected. What we found out over many years of doing this experiment, it's now called freestyle chess. You can play on the internet, having one machine, many machines, any form you want, so have any assistance. That is not, the secret of success is not about the strengths and the talent of a chess player or chess players, if it's a team. It's not about the speed of the machine, but it's about the synergy. It's about interface. Because what is very important for humans in this combination is to provide assistance to the machine. And sometimes, actually in probably all cases, you rather have a good expert, but not a top player or top, let's say, professor, if we're talking about radiology. For a simple reason, machines are better in many instances. Let's say they do better 90% of the job. If we try to interfere with this 90%, we'll reduce the quality of this cooperation. So we have to know exactly what is required for this machine, for this specific task, to compensate for machine's deficiencies, and to enter the field with our human qualities. So for world champion, for the best players, for top experts in their industries, somehow it's just, it's annoying. It hurts our pride to feel that, you know, we have to abide, follow the machine's ideas, and just to be reduced to last few decimal places. There's nothing wrong about it. We have been inventing machines for millennia, of course, for centuries. It was all about making our life and our work so more effective. And I think that is just as we reaching a point where we have to simply recognize that we're entering a new phase of relations with machines. But we should not be afraid of that. Again, we should, I would say, even celebrate, because it offers us some new interesting opportunities. For those who are actually talking about, what about the job losses? What about, you know, the problems that it will cause to many industries? The fact is that every new disruptive technology in the past created the same problems. Before jobs have been created, they have been lost. Industries have disappeared. Like, you know, in the 19th century, 90+% of people have been involved in agriculture. It's gone. In the 20th century, most of the people have been involved in manufacturing industries. These jobs have gone. The only difference with today's problems that the jobs are at stake are coming from people with college degrees and Twitter accounts. So that's why we think it's different. No, it's not different. We just have to realize that many of the jobs we're doing today are not very creative. If you don't trust me, just, you know, there's a statistics. I recently looked at that. US job market in 2016, McKinsey report. They looked at the working activities that in the United States and how many of these jobs require medium, I emphasize, medium human creativity. Any idea? 4%. 4%. Basically, 96% of these jobs could be gone in the future because machines could do this better job. So where does it leave us? So they say doomsayers coming in the stage saying, that's it? That's the end of the world? There's still something machines cannot do. And to understand it, we should look first, you know, leave science, move to the art, because it's more about philosophy. By the way, we're still at a time where machines are just, you know, just entering the stage. Public actually believes we live at a time when AI is some sort of the Windows 10. Actually, it's the beginning of MS-DOS era. So that's why philosophy is important now. And let's look to a philosopher, okay, actually it's an artist. Computers are useless, they can only give you answers. Trust me, it's one of my favorite phrases. It's a great piece of wisdom because it tells us exactly what is the difference between us and computers. Machines are perfect of giving answers. They can give you all the data. But questions are a beginning. Picasso, as a great artist, knew it. To reinvent yourself, you always have to ask questions. Now, when I show this slide, and I did it many times, I could see people in the audience saying, yes, but Picasso, what did you know about computers? So how can we trust, okay, great artist, but no. It's not an argument we take. By accident, I just bumped into an expert from a different field at one of my lectures. I was followed by a professor from Cornell, expert in mathematics, and she talked about something I can pronounce, don't understand, called convex optimization. Anybody knows what it is? I'm sure there are a few quants in the audience. And what was amazing, while, of course, all the numbers that are on the screen were way above my understanding because I spent my childhood analyzing chess openings, not advanced calculus, but she basically said the same thing. It's about humans, it's to set frameworks to solve and define parameters and methods to reduce. She said bluntly, that machines can ask questions. There's only one problem. They don't know what questions are relevant ones. Basically, we are actually seeing a very important paradox that works for us, for humans. Machines will never recognize the moment when it crosses the border and reaches territory of diminishing returns. And that's very important. So it's still, our human responsibility to organize the framework. Yes, we say, oh, our role is shrinking. So what? It's still a decisive role. It's like having a very powerful weapon. And a tiny deviation of a bullet at the start, starting from the barrel, could actually end up with 10 meters, one kilometer away. So we can actually decide how this massive computing power will be used. So I think that's, again, there's no reason to be upset. It's, again, more reasons to actually think about the future and trying to understand our role. So now let's quickly go over the cycle. Because all the cycles are the same. So this is, at the beginning, people say, machines, totally impossible. Then, like I played this computer match in Hamburg, machines can play, can do something, but they're laughingly weak. Then there's a very short window, historical window of us competing against them, and then they are better forever after. So it starts with brute force machines. They follow human instructions. And that's type A machines, according to Claude Shannon. And by the way, most of the computers you see today, whether it's IBM's Watson or you name it, they are still type A machines. They are much faster, but they still optimize human data. This is a fundamental difference, optimization and transformation. When they tell you about transformative technologies, don't buy it. It's not yet there. It's coming, but it's not there. So far, we're still seeing these machines. Now we have smarter machines partner with experts using superior process. That's form of advanced chess. That's probably the stage where we are now. The future is operators guide groups of algorithms. That's another story. That's another story of machines being able to generate their own data based on human-created frameworks. It's just the glimpse of the future. I don't want to waste our time here talking about AlphaZero programs made by DeepMind under Google's umbrella. There were a few experiments actually made by IBM in the mid-90s. It's too big to discuss within this short period of time that we have here. But this is the future. And what is very important, that's why I wanted to emphasize the words AI. I don't think that we should talk about artificial intelligence for two reasons. One is it's not a correct way describing human-machine collaboration. I strongly insist on augmented intelligence. Second one, actually, it's kind of a psychological, artificial science alien. Augmented is friendly. So we should probably make ourselves more comfortable by working with machines. And also, again, it's this, even the most experienced machines, most advanced machines, they still require human knowledge. Like, imagine it's like a telescope. It's getting more and more and more and more powerful. But still, you need a human to actually understand the data and to work with the data and to interpret the data. Because machines could, again, they will not recognize, again, what part of data is truly relevant. So, and now we can do a little summary. So just over of this talk. So the one is intelligent tech products. They advance from weak to useful tools, and eventually they just do, they're totally disruptive. And it's natural. So they're getting stronger and stronger. So we just have to recognize it's a fact. We're not here to argue about spilled milk. We're not here just, to complain about something which is inevitable. It's happening, so let's understand how we can use it to our advantage. So human plus machine means finding better ways to combine. It's about an interface. A weaker player in chess with a slower computer but a better interface will prevail over a stronger player with a faster computer but inferior interface. It's about the best combination of human plus machine. That's our role for the future. Again, there's nothing to cry about. It's just something to recognize and start working towards this direction. So automation disrupts employment, but it also creates new tasks, new jobs, and new initiatives. By the way, the jobs do not disappear, they evolve. Now, the question is, but what can we do? So I'm 55, turning 56 in a month, and how can, I guess many of people just, average age probably slightly lower than mine, but definitely we all ask the same question. How we can compete with with youngsters? Naturally, my 12-year-old daughter, she's far superior to me. I believe her little brother, who is just turning 4 this July, will be better than her. It's a natural cycle. But what helps us is that newer machines, they're friendly, they're easier to operate. So we don't have to be that savvy by sliding our finger on the screen. Machines might require our wisdom, our experience, so it offers us a chance. And when I hear all these complaints, technology gives advantage to young, so we are all doomed, we are just totally, useless. You know what? Technology is the main reason why so many of us are still alive to complain about technology. Man, just, give it a break. So we benefit from that. But any technology is like a coin that has two sides. So that's why, expecting technology to solve all problems is wrong. By the way, it's always easier to use new disruptive technology for bad things, for destruction, just creating weapons, for instance. You start with nuclear bomb and then you do nuclear reactor. And by the way, again, it's not about the Terminators, it's not about killing killers robots, it's still about humans. Humans still have monopoly for evil. So that's why we should worry about technology being used by bad actors, rather than about technology revolting against us. As machines master task or subject, so every human may be less effective than trained operator. That's what I said. It's about, again, recognizing where we belong. So it's about finding the right spot in these relations. It's about finding the most effective way to compensate for machines' deficiencies. Now, since I mentioned Hollywood a few times, you think that it gives you only the bad image of the future. As a matter of fact, I thought for a while to find sort of the opposite examples, and I came up with this. So you think it's wrong, yes? Oh, by the way, the picture is this in that corner is not a Photoshop, it's a real picture. I played Arnold in 2003 in his office. It was a very quick draw. I was not stupid enough to win. I think I encourage, by the way, he had chess as the mandatory subject for his kids as a part of the homeschooling. He was so encouraged, probably by this result that 6 months later, he ran for the governorship of California and won. Now, you ask me why you have these images and you say it's positive. Of course, the first one, the Terminator 1, it's about human versus machines, human 1. But the second and the third movies, if you remember, it was exactly, okay, I understand there's a bit of stretch, but still it was exactly the combination of human, smart human, plus inferior machine versus a stronger machine, a new machine. And the combination won, because it had good interface. So again, even in these very dark dystopian movies, you can find sort of the bright side. So how we should cooperate with machines. And again, humans' interference could be a decisive, even for a weaker machine to beat a much stronger machine. But now, actually, I found another famous movie that could give you even more valuable information about relations between humans and machines. I guess, again, by age of the audience, I don't have to mention, Empire Strikes Back, 1980. This is a moment, a very important moment in the movie when Han Solo is trying to escape from Imperial Guard, from Darth Vader, and he's heading for the asteroid field. And C-3PO in a squeaky voice tells him the chance of surviving in the asteroid field are 3,720 to 1. Now, the answer is never tell me the odds. Why this picture is relevant? Because they were both right. Did machine know the odds? Absolutely. the chances of surviving in asteroid fields were zero or slim to none, nearly zero. But Han Solo was also right, because there was no other option. From machine's perspective, turning back, being caught by Imperial Guard, killed in 10 minutes or tortured by Darth Vader was a better alternative than being killed in 10 seconds by an asteroid stone. Humans recognized that this 1 out of 3,720 was a much more valuable. How can you explain it to the machine? There's no way. So machines always know the odds, but we are in a much better position to judge the information we receive. So let me finish my talk by saying the machines in the past, they made us stronger by doing physical labor. They made us faster, capable of circling the globe or rocketing to the moon. These new machines, they will make us smarter, capable of anything. And future of technology is self-fulfilling prophecy. And if we believe in the bright future of augmented intelligence, we should be more aggressive, more ambitious. We should look for new projects, new initiatives, because our machines can do brilliantly, can be great at doing things we know how to do well. It means we have to push for the unknown. We have to come up with new ideas, new tasks. And we have our new partners that will make our wildest dreams possible. So the bottom line, we are not being replaced. We are being promoted. Thank you.
Thank you. So a couple of questions. Let's do a couple of questions. Thank you very much, Gary. I'll switch to Lithuanian for a while and come back into English. Mes turim keletą minučių su Gari Kasparovu čia scenoje, šiek tiek pakalbėti, tai kažkaip pagalvom, kad gal geriausia, jeigu kalbėsim jūsų klausimais. Tai jeigu kažkas turit klausimą, kurį norėtumėt užduoti Gariui, kilstelkit ranką, aš parodysiu jums, prineš mikrofoną ir mes galėsim apturėti trumpą pokalbį. Jeigu nieks neturit klausimų, tada nekalbėsim. Everybody is afraid to ask.
Why not in Russia?
Okay, here we have a question.
Mr. Kasparov, thank you for amazing presentation. I follow your work for quite a while. My question is, how would you suggest to protect robots, AI from, as you said, the evil humans?
There's no way you can do that because it's the opposite side of globalization. So we live in a world that is open. And we could see, by the way, that the evil side is far more advanced in using it. It's easier, by the way, again, destroying is easier than build. But that's one of the problems, again, going back to the very first words of my presentation, is that the free world is awakening to the threats coming from the other side. The Iron Curtain doesn't exist anymore, but actually does. And it's even much more dangerous because during the Cold War, there was the Berlin Wall that separated free and unfree world. So we were born on the other side, on the wrong side. Though now, again, you are celebrating 15th anniversary of joining NATO, so that's why you're already on the right side of history. Yeah, but it's the only way to move forward is to keep creating. Not pretending that you can find sort of a peaceful resolution with those who made conflict as the key element of their survival. So it's trying to slow down. Could make only things worse because they will still use it. So we can have to push forward. And again, remember, everything has been invented in the free world. So there's nothing that's been invented on the other side. And it's quite a tragic irony that technology that has been invented in the free world has been used quite effectively to undermine the very foundation of the free world.
Yeah, thank you very much. Any more questions in the room?
Wow.
Yeah, here.
Hello, Gary. My name is Grishna.
Yeah.
I was about 10-year-old when I was in Moscow playing chess at
Wow.
the tournament. And I remember you actually somewhere, it was a while ago. So I wanted to ask you, and you were like a big, boss for me. I wanted to ask you, how did you started playing chess?
Oh,
and
okay.
You
what
tested
it
my
gave
memory.
you,
It was 50 years ago.
and what it gave you in your life.
Look, I have to say that when I learned how to move chess pieces, watching at my parents trying to solve one of the puzzles from a newspaper, nobody was there to tweet this moment. So that's why I cannot tell you exactly when it was, probably in 68, 69 winter in Baku. No, not very harsh winters, but still we were sitting at home. And look, it formed my character, and also it gave me an opportunity not only to become famous and become world champion, but also helps me to decide what to do in my life after the game of chess. So I think it was quite important that actually I could learn how to use my chess experience to build another life. And so I can recommend, I don't know whether you read or not, just to read my book, How Life Imitates Chess. By the way, I know it's available in Lithuanian, because last night in Frankfurt airport I signed one of the copies, flying to Vilnius.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Last one question here.
Hello, Gary. I want to ask you one question about emotions. We know that currently, machines are struggling with that part. So, do you think that they will learn it sometime in the future and will surpass us in this case also, or are we safe here?
Actually, I strongly believe it's not just a current problem for machines, it's eternal problem for the machines. For a simple reason. Machines operate with odds, and emotions it's exactly the opposite. Because when we're talking about our emotional reception of, let's say, Hollywood movie, there are no numbers you can install. Some people like it, some people don't like it, and it depends very much on our attitude. Sometimes even our attitude changes from time. So it goes back to what I said about Han Solo and C-3PO. Machines will always know the odds, but sometimes being creative doesn't mean being successful. So machines cannot go into failure. So that's why you have to accept failures as a part of your progress. So that's why I think that the uniqueness of human beings it's not going to be thrown away. To the contrary, I think the machines will help us to unleash our creativity, because we should recognize that there are certain things that we used to do that should be given to the machines. But at the same time, there are precisely human, uniquely human qualities that will be absolutely paramount in building the successful future of human and machine working together.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Varos Gary Kasparov. Thank you very much. Thank you. Pleasure having you here.